The name gets you through the door, but it doesn't keep you in the room. Andre Ward.
Tengo derecho a ser el mejor peleador del mundo porque eso me propuse y eso quiero ser. La gente a veces, por ser hijo de Julio César Chávez, no me lo daba.
Julio César Chávez Sr. is more than a boxing champion. He is a Mexican national hero. Born into a harsh 1970s Sonora, the young Chávez was hardened early. His family of 10, often so poor, they were forced to live in an abandoned train car. Watching his mother struggle to make ends meet lit a fire in him. He swore that one day he'd buy her a house. At 17, he made his professional debut. The world would soon know his name. The following years showcased a best-in-class style of relentless pressure fighting, devastating body shots, an underrated defense, and a staggering undefeated streak of 90 pro fights. Chávez Sr. retired in 2001 with a record of 107 wins, 6 losses and 2 draws, 86 by knockout, and 6 world titles across 3 weight divisions. Only 2 years later, his son Julio César Chávez Jr. would declare his boxing career. Born into wealth and fame, Julio César Chávez Jr. lived a world away from the hardship that shaped his father. But a boxing royalty brought its own problems. A highly publicized affair involving actress Salma Hayek reportedly led to his parents' divorce, thrusting Jr. into the media spotlight at a young age. He would later play a pivotal role in admitting his father into rehab during a period of severe drug and alcohol addiction. Chávez Sr. recalled, "Thankfully, Julio was brave enough to take me to rehab. At first, I said bad things about him. I regretted being his father. I disowned him. I condemned him. But later, I thanked him. Because if he hadn't, I think I would be dead." This was a powerful moment, a son rescuing the father he idolized. A moment that will sadly echo later in this story. Julio skipped the amateurs and jumped straight into the pros. So what motivated an already wealthy 17-year-old? Perhaps a quote from an older Chávez Jr. gives us a clue. "He's not just my father, he's my idol. I admire him so much. He instilled this sport in me. It's why I keep fighting to carry his name even higher. So even more people will know Julio César Chávez." The early years of Jr.'s career were defined by a rapid accumulation of wins, fighting 11 times in 2004 alone. But many of those opponents were hand-picked and low-level, chosen to build momentum and bolster the Chávez name.
Well, we used the words when he came into the ring, sacrificial lamb. This is what it means.
Having skipped the amateurs and lacking his father's technical finesse, Jr. leaned heavily on his physical advantages. At 6'1", he used his size and strength to wear opponents down. But the question loomed, did he have his father's grit? That question intensified when Jr. faced his first real test, a controversial draw against future IBF World Super Welterweight champion Carlos Molina. Jr. would go on to set the record straight with a 6-round unanimous decision.
Did you see that? That's how you gotta fight, says his dad.
But many felt Molina was robbed. For a fighter trying to live up to the Chávez legacy, that resistance didn't bode well. Even more concerning, some believe that biased judging and Mexico's hunger for a new boxing king had saved Jr. from his first loss. Over the next few years, Jr. continued racking up wins, most notably avenging his father's final loss by defeating Grover Wiley. As the 2000s drew to a close, Jr. showed flashes of potential, a solid chin, impressive strength, and decent punching power. But the doubts persisted. Rumors began circulating, reports of poor conditioning, missed training sessions, and a lack of commitment. Fans grew frustrated with the caliber of his opponents. Then came the tipping point. In 2009, a win over Troy Rowland was ruled a no contest after Jr. tested positive for the banned diuretic furosemide, a substance often linked to PED masking and weight cutting. Between the growing criticism, fractured expectations, and failed drug tests, it was clear something had to change. Enter Freddie Roach. With 40 world champions under his belt, if anyone could solve Julio César Chávez Jr.'s problems, it was Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach. Having first met Chávez Jr. during a Manny Pacquiao training camp, Roach must have seen a spark, and despite warnings from his peers about Julio's lack of discipline, Roach took him on. Their first test came against John Duddy, a respected contender, fairly ranked at the lower end of the top tier, with only one loss on his record. For Jr., it was a serious step up. With glaring flaws in his skill set, Roach, alongside strength and conditioning coach Alex Ariza, went to work reshaping him. Duddy wasn't elite, but he was a tough brawler, someone Jr. wouldn't be able to stand and trade with. If Jr. was going to prevail, he would need to learn how to utilize his jab and keep Duddy at range. When the bell rang, Duddy came out swinging, but Jr. responded quickly and managed to establish his right hand early. There was still back and forth, some heavy trading in the fourth round, but Jr. appeared to be listening to his corner. In the sixth, he ate a big shot, but managed to answer with his own heavy landing uppercut that may have swung the round back in his favor. He never managed to put Duddy away, but over 10 rounds, he controlled the fight enough to earn a unanimous decision win.
There's a look at Senior, and I'm sure his heart was in his throat a little bit too, but he's got every reason to be proud of his son. I mean, I think what he did tonight too, in large part, was take a big, giant step out of the shadow of his dad.
Jr. was far from the perfect specimen. He lacked in head movement, leaving him open to shots. But this fight proved that Chávez Jr. could compete with real contenders. He wasn't his father, and never would be, but with Roach in his corner, a world title no longer felt impossible. After picking up another win against Billy Lyle, Jr.'s next opportunity arrived in the form of undefeated German Sebastian Spick, who now held the vacant WBC World Middleweight title, offering Jr. the best chance he was likely to get at securing a world title. Spick came out strong, dominating the early rounds, taking the first 5 with ease. But Jr. began to find his rhythm, landing solid body shots and showing once again his ability to gain momentum in the later rounds. His improved head movement and conditioning were clear signs he was listening to Roach's guidance. As Jr. continued to target the body, the German began to slow, allowing Jr. to finish strong, winning the final rounds convincingly enough to edge out a victory in a competitive fight. This was a moment of triumph for Jr. He now held a world title, something many believed he would never do. However, this victory came without facing some of the division's elite, names like Miguel Cotto, Sergio Martinez, Dimitri Pirog, Felix Sturm, or Sebastian Sylvester. Fighters many believed would hand Jr. his first true defeat. Jr. still had a lot to prove before silencing the doubts surrounding his legacy. In his first title defense, we undoubtedly saw the best version of Julio Chavez Jr. facing Andy Lee, an Irishman with an impressive record of 28 wins, with only one controversial loss and a reputation as being one of the biggest punchers in the division. When fight night arrived, Jr.'s superior activity and physical advantages showed. His punches landed clean and effective, while Lee's shots fell flat. Jr. stopped the challenger in the 7th round, marking by far the most impressive and meaningful scalp of his career. Yet, amid the celebrations, a shadow hung over the event. Jr. reportedly refused to take a drug test, reigniting long-standing suspicions and allegations of doping. Meanwhile, Sergio Martinez was back, eager to reclaim his belt. There was no escaping the inevitable. Any remaining questions about Jr.'s legitimacy were about to be answered in the ring.
Junior has you talking a lot. Why?
Es la injusticia de que alguien no siendo el mejor sea campeón.
Jr. now had the belt, but not the respect. Even off the back of the most impressive victory of his career, the comparisons to his father were louder than ever. Behind closed doors, Jr.'s relationship with Roach began to deteriorate.
You said you don't want to train?
the facts.
Meanwhile, a hungrier than ever Sergio Martinez, a champion in all but name, was focused on one thing: reclaiming what had been stolen from him. Amid all the troubling reports and huge step up in class, many felt that Junior could not defeat Sergio Martinez. And they were right. Junior was outboxed and outclassed for a full 11 rounds. But in the final 60-second stretch of the fight,
Chávez Jr. Another big right hand by Junior.
and just when it seemed Junior had pulled off a miraculous upset, with a torn knee ligament and bloodied face, the 36-year-old southpaw gets to his feet.
Here we go! Can Martinez finish his fight? Can Chávez Jr. knock him out like his father did?
Up on points but hurt badly, all Martinez needs to do is survive. Both men hear the final bell. Junior had shocked the world. In one of the most unexpected moments of the decade, he had shown that anything is possible in boxing. Nevertheless, it did not erase the memory of the previous 11 rounds. The doubts about Junior's ability in the top flight were justified. The show was over. Julio César Chávez Jr. was never quite the same after the Martinez fight. Maybe it shattered an illusion he'd clung to, that he could truly follow in his father's footsteps. Maybe the weight of endless comparisons finally broke him. What followed was a spiral. Battles with addiction, lackluster comebacks, and flashes of talent dimmed by inconsistency. The most glaring example? A showdown with Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez, a fight that confirmed what many already suspected. Chávez Jr. wasn't that guy. The lowest point came with a loss to former UFC fighter Anderson Silva. Chávez, the seasoned boxer, lost on points, embarrassed and outclassed by a man whose prime was in another sport. Still, one question lingers. Was Chávez Jr. a disappointment or simply a casualty of an impossible legacy? There's criticism to be made. The failed drug tests, the lazy training camps, the disrespect toward a legend like Freddie Roach. But there were also moments of real drama, of real promise. Had he rebuilt after Martinez, kept Roach in his corner, and committed, maybe the narrative would be different. Maybe it's both, a tragedy of missed chances and unfair expectations. But the story isn't over yet. Now past his prime at 38, Chávez Jr. is facing one final shot at redemption, a YouTuber turned boxer, Jake Paul, a fight the experts say he'll lose. Can Chávez turn back the clock and put an end to the circus that drags boxing's name through the mud? Time will tell.